Hey everyone, wanted to try something new here and spend a few minutes with one of our amazing product managers here at HubSpot, just going into like a bit more of detail on some cool features that they've been working on. So if you want to learn more, I'll drop some info in the comments as well. But today, I'm actually hanging out with Will Hughes, one of our senior PMs responsible for many of the prospecting tools within Sales Hub. Now, Will, I think you and I share two things in common. The first being a mutual love of rap music. And the second being just tons of excitement for all of the awesome things that have come out of the prospecting side of Sales Hub this past year and what we have planned for this year at Inbound. So, Will, thanks for jumping on. Why don't you give everyone a quick intro about yourself and maybe what you do here at HubSpot?
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, thanks for making the time. As Alex said, I focus on prospecting with a particular emphasis on the leads object here at HubSpot. In case you missed it, we are building features mainly for BDRs, sales teams, and just like any sort of one sort of involved in that workflow to help those prospecting teams up their game with Sales Hub. Starting last August, I came on just as we were starting to ship the leads object and the prospecting workspace coming up on my 1 year anniversary. And it's so exciting to see just the amount of features and how far we've come in 1 year.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like I think we're already like just a couple months away from inbound, and it seems like just last year we had this big launch for Sales Hub and we went all things prospecting. So one, congratulations on your anniversary coming up. But for those of us who missed it, can you maybe take us back to inbound of last year and what was like the big takeaway for Sales Hub?
Last year, we launched the new prospecting workspace and lead management experience in HubSpot. In case you missed it, it's this purpose-built sort of workspace app for reps and BDRs to prospect in Sales Hub and have their work streams sort of handed to them on a silver platter. Along with like countless other features that we sort of ship to complement that experience and help make it even more robust, like A/B testing and sequences, and many, many more. All just sort of designed around this simple concept of let's just help prospecting reps build pipeline more efficiently.
Totally. And I think literally I was just seeing someone on LinkedIn the other day talking about A/B sequence testing. So many cool things I think that came up last year. But I know obviously we launched something new in Sales Hub. Lots of people start using prospecting and leads, but I'm sure you've heard, obviously lots of great things, but what are some of the maybe the pieces of feedback or themes that you've heard from customers, from partners and users since this is launched that have helped you kind of inform like where we're going with this in the future?
Yeah, definitely. So we intentionally launched a pretty narrow MVP or minimum viable product or V1 last year. So we could really see like what were the additional use cases that users were asking for and how could we considerately build for those use cases and like very intentionally open up the lead object and integrate it with the HubSpot platform as we iterated, talked with customers and sort of brought that into our product process. So I'd say like the two big themes we see are one, it was a V1. We intentionally left some gaps with regards to platform functionality. So there's a lot of, hey, I'm used to using this feature, say tags in deals. When is that going to come to the lead object? And we're coming for it. We've been scooping up all those pieces of functionality. We've shipped stuff like custom properties and workflows via automation that you're used to using in other objects. And we're only going to keep going with things like leads tags, Kanban board, and many, many more of the platform features you're used to using on deals. The second category, I think, was customers really looking for HubSpot to give them best practice on how to do sales prospecting. For the longest time, people have looked to HubSpot for guidance on how to do their go-to-market process, how to do inbound marketing. Now they're looking to say, how do I bring my prospecting motion into 2024? How do I do all the very best sort of practices and operations in my setup to set my team up for success? So we very intentionally set about, creating also these features that give users like fundamentally more power, help them operate more efficiently, and just waste less time on non-selling activities.
No, that's awesome. And it sounds like as we sort of evolve this based on customer feedback, there's a lot of themes around customization, making it more powerful, making the automations more robust. So it sounds like something that's continually evolving, which is so cool. So I know today we've got a couple features that are actually just launched for leads that you're going to kind of give us a quick demo for. So I'm really excited to see those. One of those first ones, I think, Will, that's been really, really cool to see go out the door is reattempting leads. Could you maybe walk us through why this is important for prospecting, and then maybe give us a quick demo as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So as we know, the our leads model is a little bit different than the current sort of market definition, and that is for a very good reason. In the old sort of world, a lead was the very first thing when a prospect appears on your radar. And it's really a concept that exists from a world that predates data enrichment, that predates like, very complex sales motions and really like data-driven sales motions. It's very like early cloud software where every person who shows up on your doorstep, who fills out a form, who shows interest in your product, you have to consider as equal and as a prospect. We don't believe that's the case. We believe that you should be using data and all of the power of HubSpot at your fingertips to really like emphasize quality over quantity and really spend your time where your ROI is highest. Um, we also want to be one of the ways that we can do this with our new leads model is we can help you model the unfortunate reality that you're probably not going to have a successful deal open on your first time prospecting into a company. It's
Right.
going to take multiple passes. The best prospecting teams that I've seen are very good at contextually sort of learning from like, okay, what did we learn from this first pass? How do we take that into our second approach selling into this company? So one of the ways we're helping users do this is we introduce a new automation and type of lead called a reattempting lead. And I'll go jump into my portal and show you what this is right now. So admins can go to their lead settings and set up an automation. So if a particular disqualification reason is selected, for my portal, I have this set for all of them. It will prompt the rep to create a lead for follow-up. So you can always ensure that there is a lead that will be created so the rep can reach out again in a determined amount of time. But also it is specifically framed to the rep as a reattempting lead. So they can know to approach this a little bit differently, to dig into sort of the past history of the contact or the company to really understand like what could they learn from that first pass. And to give you a sense of just the rep experience, so if I go in here, I disqualify a lead, I say, and again, this is a great value of leads, as marketers, as sales leaders, you're always interested in like what is the in the weeds feedback from reps as you're handing them these leads. So I say it's bad timing. And now it's going to prompt me to create this link. So I'll say, okay, I'll follow up in about a quarter's time. If it was bad timing, maybe they're waiting to move more budget. I can save. And now that lead will be created and assigned in 90 days so that I can reapproach that company.
And Will, this is so cool. When you've done that and you've disqualified the lead initially, and then you make that sort of new lead to reattempt, does it then kind of show the rep all of the data that they would have previously seen when they were talking to this lead on the past time? Is it connected to the same contact? Maybe how does that work?
Yeah, totally. So these leads, you can think of them as like almost time capsuled objects that capture and store all of the prospecting activity related to a given period of time or that pass that's selling into a company or contact. Um, so we're able to keep the data model very clean. This lead will close, it'll stop syncing data, and then that new lead will get created in 90 days and start capturing all of that prospecting activity again. Of course, you could also set up automations. So if, say, the prospect 2 months from now proactively reaches out to you, you can create a lead and track that behavior as well.
Super cool feature. One of the things also that I think people have talked about is just when you get these new leads, whether that's a reattempted one or it's a net new lead that's maybe coming through a website, through an event, how do I as a rep get notified? How am I finding out as these leads are coming into me? So I think we've got something new in the leads and prospecting tool here about lead notifications that would be cool to show.
Yeah, totally. And I think this really relates to the both of the themes I mentioned earlier from customer feedback. This is a platform feature that customers are used to using with deals. They're used to notifications being enabled. But also it's really important for us to ship these types of features because they make reps much more effective. They help reps waste less time deciding sort of what to do and just help point them in a direction to go do something that is high priority, high ROI. So we've enabled a new section of lead notifications. And now you can enable notifications for when a lead is assigned to a rep. They'll receive something like this. And we do a good job of, if you assign 50 leads as you may at a time, you don't want 50 emails. That's just
Yeah.
gonna, work against your efficiency. So we're rolling these up, sort of combining them as you can see here. And this is just the beginning. We really hope this is the first of many notifications. This is just the beginning of us integrating with this system. So really excited to ship new, even more powerful notifications that can make reps even more efficient in the future.
And so you have the Gmail one right there. What are some of the other ways that people could get notified? Does this work for Outlook and Microsoft services?
So it works across any email. We will basically using whatever the email that is tied to the lead owner, that's who we're going to hit up. It's also available in browser notifications in here, as you can see. So we really try and just, trying to hit them wherever they may live, wherever they may be looking for their next task.
I think it's cool because one of the things you often hear about in all of sales is just the speed to be able to follow up with a lead and connect with the customer at the right time. So I think by having this, it's going to make reps much more sort of timely with their outreach as soon as they're able to get assigned a lead. And it's not something they have to go digging for in the system at the start of each day.
Absolutely.
So we talked, I think, at the very beginning about how we were making prospecting, lead management, everything more customizable, more robust, and more powerful. To close us out, could you maybe talk about some of the recent updates then that developers would be interested in? And that would be for the Leads API.
Absolutely. So, one of the things we, again, intentionally did not do in our MVP, so we could really get a sense of like how to best design our documentation for our developers was the Leads API. So in partnership with some of our developer-focused teams, developer experience, as well as talking to our developer customers, we were able to ship a reliable, performant Leads API that you can use to create, update, modify leads at scale. Do more sort of custom and sophisticated workflows with lead creation and progression, all in a very easy to understand, simple and familiar API documentation with lots of great examples to help you understand this new object.
Well, Will, thank you so much for showing us all those great features. It's so exciting to see all of the different improvements, and I think just the direction you and your team are going with leads and prospecting here in Sales Hub. Wrapping things up now, wanted to give you the floor, kind of last couple minutes here. Anything you wanted to share with our customers, with our partners and users about how you and your team are sort of thinking about, the future of prospecting inside of Sales Hub?
Yeah, definitely. We've heard a lot of great feedback from our partner and customer community this past year since we shipped leads, and we're really excited about the strategic direction that we're going to start taking the object in the next year plus on the road to inbound and also beyond. So to give you just like the four themes that are constantly in my head concerning the next year and the future of prospecting are one, we hear you, we're going to make the lead object a proper object, bringing all the platform power that you find in like a deal object, a company, a contact. We're going to bring that to you. Two, we're going to also build for admins and governance. We know that your sales motions are complex and keeping them consistent and keeping the experience on rails for reps, really important. So we're also going to build for governance. Thirdly, some of y'all we know are doing more of a B2B account focused motion, and we want to accommodate that. So also bringing leads to accommodate more of these B2B use cases in our workflows. And fourthly, a one that maybe, you're probably hearing every other minute, AI. We want to bring the power of AI to make reps fundamentally more efficient and have them focusing on the right prospecting activities at the right time. So yeah, expect lots of fun AI-powered features to also be landing in the future.
Yeah, those sound so great. Really, really exciting stuff. We made it pretty far without talking about AI there in your four priorities. So glad to see that's kind of on the roadmap there. Lots of exciting things. I think you and the team going to be working on between now and inbound. I'm personally excited to see everyone there. Will, I know you're going as well. So definitely stop by the demo booth. Come say hi to Will and I. And Will, any last thoughts before we jump and see everyone in September?
See it inbound. I'm super excited to talk with all of you and learn more about how you're using leads and how we can make it better.
I love that. And we hope it's not 90 something degrees this time, but we will be there in air conditioning regardless. So Will, thanks so much for joining us, and check out some of the resources I put in the comments, and everyone, thanks for watching.